Now, who's ready for some Bazi magic? Type a me. Italy, wow, hi. Excellent, excellent. While we wait for the rest to come in, now I just want to ask you guys a very, very simple question. Now, if you were able to change one small little aspect in your life, regardless whatever it is, now, how many of you here would feel that your life would improve tremendously? Type A1. Aloha from Hawaii. Nice, nice. Right? Nice. Oh, wow. So many of you, right? Okay. Well, today you're in for a treat. Okay. Because tonight is something very personal to me. Tonight's sharing will be something very, very personal to me. I'm going to share with you guys my personal journey on how I rewrote or basically reshaped my life. Okay, and how I got to being a consultant in the Joy Up Consulting Group. Okay, guys. Now, I want you guys to just be open to all forms of possibilities. Okay, guys. Now, enjoy my sharing, but at the same time, try your best to relate your own personal chart to certain concepts that I'll be sharing with you guys. All right. Okay, so let me share my slides. Okay. Now, generally, our life is made up of three different parts, right? One is wealth, which is like our business and our career, right? Including some of our investments. All right, relationship, that means with our romantic relationship, with our working relationship, with our family relationship. All right, and finally, health. Now, health in this manner, I'm not talking about how we are born. All right, because normally the health aspect is something that we are forced to accept the day we are born. But I'm talking about what we are doing to ourselves due to certain bad habits, right? Like smoking, drinking, excessive eating, like myself, stuff like that, right? So I'm talking about these three areas over here. Okay, alrighty. Okay, wow, from Indonesia, welcome. Okay, so now how many of you here? Okay, if this is you, right, type a me in the chat group. Now, if you are an employee, all right, and you feel that, when you first started out, entering the society, you had this beautiful progressive picture of how you were going to, progress in society. All right. But as you go on, you realize, oh my God, I've been making a lot of wrong choices that might have hampered my career progression. Okay. Along the way, because of fear, uncertainty, I might have rejected opportunities in the past that I regret to this very day. Okay. And after working for so many years, I feel like I'm still stuck in a rat race, day in, day out, firefighting every single day. All right. And I have no idea where I'm going, but I can't stop. All right. Because I have my own liabilities, I have my bills to pay. So I don't have the luxury of choosing. So I have no choice but to continue fighting in the rat race. How many of you are like that? Type in me. All right. Okay. How about if you're a business owner? All right. How about if you're a business owner, right? Along the way, you made a few wrong guesses that cost you a bit of money, right? You made some losses, all right, because of fear of making the wrong choices, right? You lost out a lot of opportunities, and your competitors got ahead of you, all right, and you are left with a lot of regrets. Okay, and you find that no matter how hard you try over the last 10 years to 20 years, right, in as short as 5, right, you find yourself on a downward trajectory. Type a me if you feel that way. Okay, or maybe money is not your concern. All right, or maybe money is not your concern. Maybe it's being happy in a relationship. Okay, maybe you feel that you have always been, making the wrong choices, falling in love with the wrong kind. All right, choosing the wrong type of people to commit to. Okay, some of you here, all right, you know that your current relationship is not so great. Okay, it's not so great. But because of the fear of change, because of convenience, you have been together with this person for such a long time, you just settle. All right. And no matter how toxic, how bad, how unhappy this relationship is, you are just too fearful for a brand new start. Okay. And this triggers prolonged pain. Okay. Those of you who are suffering in this way, or you feel that this is somewhat resonates with you, type in me. Okay. Or the real problem nowadays, right, that we see a lot is lack of choices. Okay. Lack of choices, loss of hope after numerous failed relationships. Whenever we are so close to crossing the finishing line, suddenly, all right, the relationship is gone and you're left alone again. Okay. And you just can't help but feel that you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. If this is you, type in me. Okay. Or some of you here, you have the money, you have great friends, you have great working colleagues, you have a great family. All right. However, all right, your family is always bugging you over one of your bad habits. It may be smoking, it may be drinking, gambling, excessive eating, all right, even as simple as serious procrastination. All right, serious procrastination, even unnecessary paranoia, okay, excessive fear. Okay, these are all what we call very unhealthy habits that are torturing our lives to the point where it's hindering us from moving forward and making right, or what we call beneficial decisions for ourselves. If this is you, type a me. Okay, bad habits, okay, addictions, any form of addictions. Okay, it might even be Netflix. Okay, all right, and this is causing weakening health. Rudy, right? Rudy, smoking, right? Don't worry, brother, I've got you. All right. I used to be a smoker for 25 years. So that's why this sharing today, all right, is my own very personal journey that I hope inspires you guys and actually gives you guys hope that there is a way out. Okay, there is a solution to changing your lives for the betterment of a more for a brighter future. Okay, now when we were young, this is the chart of our ideal life, right? Yes, we do know the concept of various ups and downs. Okay. However, generally the trajectory is an upward slope like this. However, okay, however, the reality of life after a few years of working and fighting in society, all right, our life goes up, then it comes down, then it goes up, then it comes down. And after about 10, 20 years, you realize, I seem to have, okay, ended up in the same place as I started. How many of you guys feel that way? Type a me. All right. You guys feel like, after 10, 20 years, right? You guys feel like you haven't really moved much, maybe a little bit higher than how you started out. But after making a few mistakes, after getting a few opportunities, you guys are relatively in the same place as where you guys started. You feel like you have gone nowhere, right? This is called stagnation. All right. Okay. So if those of you who have answered me in the chat, congratulations, because you are the better group. You are the luckier group because most of us would be this. Okay. Most of us would be this. We make some good decisions, it goes up. We make some mistakes, it goes down. But the problem is when it goes down because of fear and the need to restabilize our lives, we settle for less. How many of you agree with that? You used to be earning $10,000. Then you make one very bad financial mistake. When you start making $3,000 to $4,000, what do? You cut back on your spending and you just settle the new paradigm, isn't it? Type a me if you agree. All right. And this vicious downward cycle just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. All right. And regardless how many opportunities are presented to you, right? You just keep settling, settling, settling out of fear and survival and basically stability of life. What you're trying to achieve is stability. So you just settle because any additional efforts would become risky for you. All right, and you're just trying to get out of a mistake. That's why you are settling for a lower benchmark. And as time goes by, this is the downward trend. This is called reality too. How many of you are like that? Type a me. This is called the downward trend. All right, type a me. A lot of you guys, right? Yeah, don't worry. Me too. Me too. Okay, trust me, you're not alone. Okay, and your problem is not unique. In fact, this problem is the majority. Okay, it's the majority of what we have seen and our own personal experience as well. So not to fear, we are all in this together. All right. Now, this is basically what we are trying to aim for, or at the very least, get as close to this upward trajectory, no matter how gentle it is. As long as it is going up 1% a year, it is fantastic. Okay, that's all we are asking for. Okay, so now the $1,000,000 question is, how do we do this? All right, what do we have to do to achieve close to this kind of upward trajectory? Okay, there are basically two very simple strategies, simple to say but hard to do. Okay, the first thing is this: when something happens, an unforeseen circumstance happens, a mistake that we made, all right, we get penalized for a certain carelessness, okay, or we get punished by certain authorities because we were non-compliant in a certain way that we were totally oblivious to. Okay, for example, something happens, all right, making a mistake, losing money, all right, maybe even making a wrong guess, a wrong choice in life. Okay, and that sends our life going downwards. Okay, now when this happens, okay, we have to stop it, control the damage, and we need to recover and re-pursue so that we keep going up. There's only basically there's only basically two strategies. Okay, first strategy is when something happens, we control the damage and we stabilize the situation. Okay, then we rediscover opportunities and then we relaunch ourselves to an upward trend. Okay, easily said, right? Easily said, easy to understand. Okay, now basically there are only two strategies to achieving our ideal progressive path. Okay, but what is holding us back? Why is it that the majority of us are going in the opposite direction? Okay, that's because there is a certain blind spot, which I'm going to expose it to you guys tonight. Okay, now imagine that this bottle of colorful liquid is like your life. Okay, and how do you implement these two strategies to propel you on an upward trajectory? Okay, there are basically two levels of analysis. The first one is internal, the next one is external. Okay, and that little, and basically when I say internal, I'm talking about the energy that you were born with. It's called your natal chart, your Bazi natal chart, because your Bazi natal chart is the blueprint. It's the energy given to you from the heavens, because you don't get to choose your birthday, right? So it's definitely given to you guys. Okay, so that's called your natal chart. So it's the step number one is understanding how you're born, what kind of energies are you born with that's influencing you to behave, to think, and to take certain actions in life. All right. And then there's the external part. What is the external part? The external part is the timeliness of events happening to us, certain opportunities, certain mistakes, certain penalties. All right. Now, some of you might be looking at that small little overlapping area between the internal and external part. What do you think that is? Okay. That little overlapping part is called the window of opportunity for you to implement the two strategies that I spoke about just now. If something happens, control the damage, all right? Control the damage, and then the next strategy is rediscover opportunities and re-pursue. All right, now, look at this chart, okay? Let's talk about wealth first, all right? Now, normally wealth, we talk about career and we talk about business. All right, so let's talk about career first. Okay, take a look at this chart. Now, this chart is a very special chart because this chart satisfies one traditional formation in the classical text. Okay, now can you see that the direct wealth represented by DW sees the rock wealth? Okay, those of you who are new to Bazi, just hear my explanation and just pay attention to the conclusion, all right? Now, when direct wealth sees rock wealth before the self, okay, that means the money has to get rocked in between first before coming to you. Now, this is called a special formation based on the classical text of Bazi, okay? This is saying if wealth sees rock wealth before the self, this is a poor man's chart. How many of you are like that? That means the only wealth star in your chart is being rocked before it comes to you. That's the reason why in the classical text, it's called a poor man's chart. Well, guys, this is my chart. All right, this is my chart. Now, tonight I'm going to be sharing a bit of traditional reading, traditional classical text, together with the modern reading of Datuk Joey. All right, so we are getting the traditional and the modern take of how we read things. All right, so it's a more holistic, what we call outlook of it. All right, now, you have the same thing. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry. Well, traditionally, this is called the end. Okay, don't even bother living your life. Okay, but in the modern day, and thank goodness for Datuk Joey's teachings, we see things very differently. Okay, now based on Datuk Joey's teachings, right? He always says, okay, let's look inside your natal chart. All right, now in this chart, we have the goat in the year pillar and we have the rat in the day pillar. All right. Now, the goat and the rat forms a relationship called a harm relationship. Now, a harm relationship normally talks about going through a series of negative emotions like disappointments, frustrations, all right, unfulfilled expectations. All right. So this harm is a pretty depressing thing. Okay, it's a pretty depressing thing. All right. Now, not only do we have this, now we also have another relationship between the rooster and the rat, in between the month pillar and the day pillar. This relationship is called a destruction. Now, according to Datuk Joey, when you have multiple undesirable or negative relationships inside your natal chart, according to the old text, this person, okay, this person has multiple layers of confusion, and this person sees life in a very strange or in a very different light. Okay, a bit depressed with life, definitely make multiple mistakes due to lack of clarity. Okay, now how many of you here, okay, those of you who are exposed to a bit of Bazi, have clashes, destructions, harms, okay, inside your natal chart? Type a me. Okay. A lot of us, right? A lot of us. So one thing that you guys know is that all of us are born in this world to experience or to learn a certain cosmic lesson, okay, or to learn a certain lesson to upgrade our level of clarity, skill set, awareness, wisdom, so that we can propel ourselves to the correct direction. Okay, now, okay, now, yes, right. Chin Lu is saying, but the snake and rooster is good. Well, what is your definition of good, Chin Lu? All right, now, the snake and rooster forms a semi-combination. This semi-combination comes from the three harmony combination. Now, according to the classical text, again, all right, according to the classical text, as long as you have combinations inside your natal chart, you are able to mitigate all the negative relationships or most of it. Okay, that means in this chart, this person, basically me, I'm able to mitigate all the harms and destructions. Okay, that is based in theory. Okay, now in reality, all right, in reality, am I able to do it? The three harmony combination normally talks about partnerships, collaboration, third party help. Okay, so basically, in conclusion, I am able to mitigate the non-clarity, the mistakes through partnerships and collaboration. Here comes the million-dollar question again. Am I able to mitigate successfully? All right. The classical text only mentioned that I have this potential, okay, to mitigate and find my way. But we all know in reality, right, because of human free will, we can reject help. Okay, we can make wrong choices. We can guess wrongly, correct? Or we can even partner with the wrong kind of people. All right. Now, if you look at your chart, or if you look at this chart first, okay, I was born with 100% rock wealth. Now, the healthy range is about 65 to 85%. 100% is excessively too much. All right. So when it's at such a high energy level, it will show negative behavior. Okay, it will show negative behavior. And I am depending on the rock wealth energy to find the right partnerships. So, guys, make an intellectual guess. What are the chances of me successfully mitigating all the non-clarity, all the harms, and all the destructions in my chart? Yes or no? Am I able to successfully mitigate easily? Yes or no? Based on 100% rock wealth energy. No, right? So can you see where my life challenge is? All right, even though I am born, okay, even though I am born with the solution in my chart already, all right, this is something that they don't teach you, all right? Even though you are born with the solution, are you able to execute the solution to save yourself, okay, from making mistakes and making your life difficult? Okay, yes, right? Okay, Rupa is saying difficult. Yes, you're correct. Very difficult because I am behaving in a very negative way. Okay, now for us to further understand, okay, 100% rock wealth, what are the potential negative behaviors that we are going to, that we are going to show? All right. Number one, rock wealth is a very terrible money management style. Okay. Why is it called rock wealth? Because wealth is basically whatever you have. That means whatever resources, money, time, effort. Okay, money, time, effort. Robbing wealth means, right, that a lot of your resources, assets gets robbed away from you. Can you guys hear me okay? Karen says that she can't hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Right, type a one if you can hear me. Okay now? All right, great, great, great. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, so basically, rock wealth means loss of not just money, but time, money, effort, whatever assets or resources that you may have. Okay, because rock wealth at such a high level, right? We don't look at money as money. We don't have that emotional attachment like other people. Okay, we look at money as just a number. All right, it's like a scorecard. All right, more than the importance of money. That's why we would just gladly spend the money for the sake of enjoyment, because rock wealth is about having fun. Okay, so based on this chart, you guys can see that when I was younger, I was having too much fun and no money. All right, and rock wealth at 100% means I have a tendency to make one-sided deals. Okay, one-sided deals. right? It's either I win totally or I lose totally. I can't seem to strike a balance. Okay, that is called rock wealth at 100%. Okay, and in terms of character, 100% rock wealth talks about my way or the highway, meaning this is how I expect things to be. This is how I see things as being correct. If it doesn't go in alignment with my expectations, you are wrong. All right, I am not interested to deal with you. Basically, this is, in a nutshell, what 100% rock wealth person is. Okay, an unconscious rock wealth is basically, right? Obviously, I was behaving this way before I learned about Bazi. Now, understand that I'm born with 100%. Okay, anything more than 100% is detrimental. Detrimental means there's a very high chance that something very impactful is coming into my life to teach me a lesson. Remember, guys, when you have harms, destructions, clashes in your charts, you are supposed to learn a life lesson. Okay, the faster this lesson appears in our life, the better your life becomes much quicker as well. All right, now, those of you, okay, who are new to me, okay, who is new to the Joy Up Consulting Group, scan the QR code here to plot your chart, okay, and tell me, all right, tell me which of you have more than 85% of any of your 10 gods, whether it's rock wealth, direct wealth, indirect wealth, right, 7 killings, DO. All right, look at your charts right now. It's on the second page. All right, everybody do it right now. I'm only interested in your 10 gods which are above 85%, especially those 90% and above. Okay, what's the difference? If your 10 gods is in between 85 to 89, around there, it means that there is a constant fluctuation of healthy, unhealthy range as through the months or through the years. So sometimes you're healthy, sometimes you're not healthy. But if you are 90 and above, most of the time, that means 97% of the time, you are in the unhealthy range. Okay. Oh, Jamie, welcome. 100% rock wealth. EG, all right, Aaron? Yes, more than 85%. All right. Shan, all right. Direct wealth. Direct wealth. Okay. Okay, your daughter, Karen, right? 100% friend. Okay. Okay. Some of you have more than one, right? Right? Like prep T, right? Like prep T, 90% friend, 88% indirect resource. Okay. Basically, all of you who type into the chat, you need to understand that whatever you have just typed there is your potential red flag for your entire life. Because these are the energies, most likely these are the energies that is causing your mistakes. It's causing you to think in a certain way, and it's causing you to make decisions in a certain way that is going to create an outcome of a mistake. Understand that. Okay, understand that. That is actually a red flag. Okay, but it's very common because it's not, in fact, it's uncommon to get all healthy. All right, most of us will have like one that is like really excessive. All right, some of us might have two, some of us might have three. Okay, all right, wow, that's a lot of us. All right, 98%, 98%. Okay, all right. Okay, some of you say none, but you do have in annual. Okay, so annual, that will be certain years, but it's more important to look at your natal because that's how you're born. How you're born is called the default setting. Okay, that's why it's called life lesson. So must look at the natal, how we are born, so we will know what's the plan given to us by the universe. All right. So basically, what does that mean? Anything below 65 is also unhealthy, but that is called lacking. Anything above 85 is called excessive. Okay, so the excessive energy will show more negative traits. Lacking basically means you're more detached, okay, or you have a lesser appreciation for that aspect of life, basically. Okay, all right. So what does this mean? Do you guys want to know what it means? All right, do you guys want to know what it means? All right. Okay, hold on. All right. All right. After doing webinars for a few years, right, roughly you can guess what people want to know, right? All right, now let's look at this chart first. Okay, so basically, what we have done just now is that we have already looked at the general default setting of the chart, correct? That means we know that, based on the classical text, this chart is a poor man's chart. Okay, we know that the rock wealth is at 100% because this person has very bad financial management. This person has a very, maybe you can call it egoistic, one-track mind, that kind of personality. Okay, which can realistically explain why this person would lose most of his money in his lifetime. Okay, so that is called the internal, the natal chart. All right, now let's look at the external. What's the external? External means as we live our lives, what comes into our lives over the period of time, okay, that we are alive. Now, look at this chart. This is the chart of this is my natal chart, and I'm going through the 10-year luck cycle of 37 to 46. Okay, and this is the year of 2017, the year of the fire rooster. Okay, now what happens in this year? Okay, oh, the rooster and the snake forms the semi-combination. Okay, now this semi-combination, okay, touches my month, which is my career. Okay, now some of you might not know this, but the combination between the snake and the rooster produces further rock wealth energy. Okay, so guys, pay attention. Those of you who say that you have excessive energy, pay attention. All right, pay attention to what? Pay attention to years that produces even more of your excessive energy. Okay, so in 2017, more rock wealth energy was produced in my chart. Okay, and it further gave me a destruction. Okay, and a further semi-combination. It's okay if you're not too clear about the combinations and the clashes. Just hear me out first, right? Basically, in 2017, because of the year of the rooster, there was excessive rock wealth energy that was produced from my chart. Now, guys, how many of you still remember what was my rock wealth energy already based on my default setting? What was it? What was it? It was already 100%. What do you think is going to happen where it breaks through 100%? Okay, the chart could only show 100%, but we know in reality it has exploded. Okay, it has broken the lid, it has burst out of the lid. All right, it breaks the chart, right? It breaks the chart, correct? It breaks the chart. All right, what does this mean? Okay, now in the most traditional sense, rob wealth means losing money. Straightforward. That's why it's called robbing your wealth. All right, so that's why it's called robbing your wealth, right? It basically means losing money. So that's why, based on this understanding, to this very day, when people see rob wealth, they don't like it because no one likes to lose money. Okay, so what happened to me? Okay, now it's already at 100%. So we know that my rock wealth energy has already broken the chart. Okay, so this was what happened. Correct? Something in my life breaks. Correct. Okay, ST correct. So what happened was in 2017, my industry went through one of the biggest crises in the oil and gas industry. Okay, this was what I shared in the previous webinar. Okay, I lost 80% of my clients in 48 hours. Okay, because all of them declared bankrupt. My cash flow was non-existent. My bank accounts were practically dry, and I had two banks chasing after me for repayments. This is what happens when your chart breaks. All right. If you guys want the full story, you guys can check out my YouTube. Okay. Okay. So we already know internally my chart broke, guys. Okay. My chart broke. All right. Excessive rock wealth energy. And it's this overwhelming energy of losing money. Guys, can you imagine this? You didn't do anything. You just entered the year of 2017, and there's this excessive loss of wealth waiting for you to experience. Can you imagine how scary that is? All right. Now, back then, I wasn't so proficient with Bazi. Okay, I roughly roughly guess what was going on, but I wasn't aware of the impact of it. I didn't know that my chart broke. Okay, that my chart broke. So we already know internally that was what happened. Now, there was no remedy for it because this is just an energy that has gone excessive to the point where it exploded. It's just like a volcano. All right, you can't stop a volcano from erupting. Okay, so what else could I do? All right, now a lot of us are confused about the 10 gods. All right, because a lot of us do not know there are two parts to the 10 gods. Okay, one is called tendencies. That means what's the tendency of our behavior? All right, for example, like bad money management, my way or the highway, right? These are called tendencies. These are called tendency to behave in a certain way. Okay, but the 10 gods also has another area called talents. That means apart from negative behavior, at the same time, you are also talented. Okay, you're also talented to do things in a certain way that can be more outstanding than other people. How many of you know this? Tendencies and talents both happening at the same time. Type in me. Yes, right? Yes, right? How many of you didn't know this? Type a 1. How many of you didn't know this? You thought that the tangles was only one thing. There you go, right? Yeah, see, there's more one than me. All right. Because we just look at the tangles as just one thing. No, they're actually two parts. This is the reason why most people struggle with Bazi. All right, because you lump everything together. Now, tonight, I'm going to break everything up into small bits so that it gives you added clarity. Okay, so thank God there are two areas called tendencies and talents. Okay, now, the tendencies, I can't help it. All right, it is the energy of the year in 2017. My chart broke and my entire family faced a potential bankruptcy situation. Okay, so out of desperation, I'm very honest with you guys, out of desperation, I kept on looking at my chart because no one in my social circle, my mentorship circle, my friends or my industry associates could help me. No one could help me. No one could help my family. We were about to lose everything that my family worked so hard for. So out of desperation and out of anger, to be very honest, out of anger, okay, I looked at my chart again. And I knew there was a talent part. So if the energy of rock wealth was so strong, that means my potential of executing my talent was also very high. Yes or no, guys? Right? Type in the chat, yes or no. There was a possibility that my talent was also amplified in that way because it works both ways, right? Okay. Now, so what did I do? Okay. So if I knew that rock wealth was the talent of making deals, it was the talent of striking a win or striking a deal, achieving a win-win situation. All right, short-term contracts. All right. So I read about rock wealth and what the hell? I was already facing bankruptcy, right? So what did I do? I went out and I raised $750,000 in 2 weeks. Okay, I eliminated all the liabilities by paying off the two banks straightforward without asking for discount. Okay, I preserved the working capital of my family business. Okay, whatever goods I had, I could not sell it because it was the industry crisis. I just consigned it to other people so I do not have to pay for storage costs. And I was free to start new businesses, enter new markets, or even start a new career. Okay, and that basically bought my family a new lease of life. Okay, now guys, could you see how rock wealth striking deals, okay, could actually work the other way for you as well? Okay, now because I discovered when we got out of bankruptcy, right? I discovered that interesting. That means, see, the fact that I'm born with 100% rock wealth, that means I have an inborn talent of striking deals, okay, try to find a win-win situation, all right, and use it to my benefit. Okay, so what did I do? Since I was free, I got out of bankruptcy, but basically I have to find another source of income, right? So I had to start exploring new markets. But this time round, my approach was 100% rock wealth. Okay, so in 2018, I got out of bankruptcy. Okay, I had nothing to do. All right, and instead of looking for a job, someone approached me, and in 2018, the later part of 2018, I raised over $200,000 again and took over a small retail business. So instead of starting all over again, I started becoming a business owner again. Okay. In 2019, someone from one of my friends from the aviation industry approached me. He found out that I could do fundraising. So he approached me, and this was my first time stepping into the aviation industry. But do you know all the airports, all the self-adhesive luggage tax system that you guys are using every day for your traveling, right? That was one of the projects that I was invited to help redesign the business model. Again, it was based on a short-term consulting contract. Okay. Then in 2020, I was approached to join the apprenticeship program. All right. And in 2021, I became a consultant at Joey Yap. Now, guys, if you guys look at the entire series of events from 2018 all the way to 2021, can you see the nature of rock wealth? Rock wealth is about collaboration. It's about making a deal. It's about short-term contracts. All right. How many of you can see that this is 100% rock wealth energy ever since 2018? Type in me. Right? Type in me. You can so see this, right? So does that mean that, so what does 100% mean? 100% only affects your tendencies. But once you are awakened, once you have the clarity on how to move away from your tendencies and focus on your talents, the world opens up. Okay, the world opens up. Of course, this is the summary, the mechanics of the execution. I will teach it, right? I will teach it, but just for you to understand how this works between tendencies and talents. Okay, how many of you guys enjoy this? That may me. All right, all right, all right. And those of you, all right, who have replied the excessive energy in your charts, okay, this is for you, as promised. After years of doing webinars, I know that people want this kind of information. Okay, this chart basically is not a complete chart, but basically it's self-sufficient in explaining the unhealthy tendencies if your 10 gods are above 85%. Okay, it's like the signs of crisis. Well, it can be, but not 100%. Okay, but it can show certain years whereby there might be certain crises or certain more impactful events that might come in because of the explosive energy to the point where it cracks your chart. Okay, yeah. Myopic, blind-sighted basically means very short-sighted. Basically, it's like a racehorse. You have blinkers on, you only see straight. You can't see the opportunities, you can't see the nobleman, you can't see anything else but your own opinion. All right. A lot of people might find it as stubborn, obstinate, all that stuff, right? But basically, you are just one directional. That's what it means. Okay, yeah. Rock wealth, one-sided arrangement. Okay, one-sided arrangement, because remember, rock wealth is about making a deal. A deal can only go through when it's a win-win. One-sided means one win, one lose. Okay, so if you win means you want 100% of the profits, but you want your partner to do the work as well. So you know that this arrangement cracks. It doesn't work. All right. On the other hand, most of the time, what we see is that 100% rock wealth means you're overly generous to the point where you give people 99.9% of the benefit and you take on the full risk. That's called one-sided. Right? Got it? Yeah. Got it? Yep. Okay. How's the audio? Is it okay? Okay, yeah, great. 7 killings, reckless. Basically, recklessness, impatience, right? Basically, very careless. That means you just went ahead and did things without checking the risks, without double checking. You just want it to happen fast. Okay. Perfectionist means too idealistic. Remember, guys, these are all the unhealthy tendencies. Okay, that means it's unhealthy, so it can't be good. Okay, it can't be good. All right. Paranoia means overthinking, overly suspicious, overly imaginative to the point of fearful. The worst part is you start to believe whatever you think as the truth and you ignore reality. That's called paranoia. Okay. Yep. Okay. Analysis paralysis, thinking, overthinking to the point where you have no idea which direction to go anymore. That's called analysis paralysis. You overdid the analysis. Too much information to the point where the direction is no longer clear. Okay. Recklessness by temptation. Basically, your indirect wealth is too high, meaning you get tempted by the potential rewards and you forgot to do your risk management to the point where you don't care whether it breaks the law or not. Okay, for example, okay, if your indirect wealth is 100% and that particular, it cracks the chart, that means that year you're willing to take excessive gambling risk, okay, to the point of breaking the law. Okay. Okay. No, don't worry. Okay. These are just unhealthy tendencies first. So at least you know, based on how you're born, your default setting, this is your potential risk. Okay. This is your potential risk, guys. Is this helpful? Okay. Is this helpful? You have a son that is 7K, the other son is DR. So one is very fast action, the other one thinks and do not do anything, right? Okay. So now you know how to deal with your sons. Okay, you know how to deal with your sons, yeah? Okay, good guys, good. All right. What's the difference between indirect wealth and 7 killings? Indirect wealth, you are tempted by the rewards. 7 killings means you just want to do it fast. You don't care. You just want to do it fast. Just do it already. You know what I mean? It's like you're just very impatient. Just do it already. Indirect wealth is more towards monetary gains or financial rewards, basically. Okay. Direct wealth. Okay. What's the difference? Okay. Direct wealth means you're overly committed, means you want to get involved in everything. That's why you stretch yourself too thin. Okay. Direct officer means you're a bit more anal. Because direct officer means you have to follow the rules, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You can't jump steps. So you become very rigid. It has to follow the rules, regardless whether it's effective or not, right? Direct wealth is Monica Geller, exactly. All right, there you go. All right. So you guys know exactly who you guys married, right? check your spouse's chart. Then it explains a lot. All right. Check your spouse's chart, it explains a lot. Yeah. So if your spouse has extreme one of these guys, you know, okay, how to deal with them. And when they fly off the handle and they lose it, right, you know exactly why. Okay. My wife, my wife, what was it? My wife does not have anything that is like 90 and beyond. Okay, my wife has something that is direct wealth 88%. All right, direct wealth. Okay, yes. Some people call me the laughing Buddha. Right, I guess the face as well. Right. Okay. Okay. Now, a lot of people say that Kenneth, you keep talking about wealth for the last 2.5 years. Can you talk something different? Okay, so they say we never hear you talk about relationship. Okay, now again, this is my chart. Okay, direct wealth to a guy. Okay, now it's different. Now it's not about money. It's about wife. Direct wealth to a guy is wife. Okay, guys, only for guys, not for females. Only for males. All right, only for guys. Direct wealth refers to your wife. Okay, Same thing, right? The goat is what we call graveyard animal signs. We have 4 earth animal signs: the goat, the ox, the dragon, and the dog. Okay. Now, what does it mean that my wife's star is in a graveyard animal sign? Based on the classical text again, it means marry late. Okay. But me, I can't just accept facts like this. I have to ask why. I'm one of those annoying kids. Why, right? So the way Dato Joey explained it is graveyard animal signs means is buried underground. That means you have to dig, you have to dig, you have to spend time, you have to go and spend time to discover, find before you can find your wife. Okay, so basically this is how Dato Joey explains it. When your spouse star is in your graveyard animal sign, that means my wife is buried underground. The reason why I marry late is because I take a long time to dig her out. Okay, and then I have to wash the mud off her. All right. Okay. If your husband has no DW, 0% how? Okay. That one relationship problem, not really. If he doesn't have DW, look for IW. Okay, indirect wealth. IW talks about girlfriend. If your husband has no DW but has IW, it's okay. That means he still marries you, but he looks at you in more of a modern light. That means, fair standing, very modern couple, for example. That's indirect wealth, because the direct wealth means more the traditional wife. Indirect wealth means the girlfriend. Okay, if your husband does not have direct wealth and only indirect wealth, then he looks at you in a very modern light. That means this marriage is modern, okay, as compared to the more traditional way. Okay, if zero, why you guys so doom and gloom? If zero IW and DW means what? Means he married you, but he's in fact very much detached from knowing how to behave like a husband. Okay, that means he's detached from the concept of marriage. That means he knows he gets married, but you don't expect him to behave as a normal husband. You have to teach him, you have to educate him, you have to sound off and remind him, hey, remember to do this. You are the husband. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it sucks. I see your husband cooks, you don't. Don't you think this is like a modern approach? The husband doesn't need you to cook. He can cook. Can you see how he doesn't approach the marriage in a traditional way? Can you see this? Right? Okay, now, back to my chart first. Back to my chart first. I know. Sometimes it does get a bit interesting. Okay, now, remember that my chart has a special formation that is in accordance to the classical text. Direct wealth sees rock wealth before the self. Okay, before the self. Now, based on the classical text, it means I see my wife, but between my wife and myself, there is competition, because it's rock wealth. Rock wealth is competition. It's trying to rob my wife away from me. My chart sucks, all right? Okay, so based on the classical text, whenever I find a potential partner, I always have high competition. Okay, that is based on the classical text. Okay, plus my wife is buried underground, even worse, marry late some more. All right, I have high competition and I still marry late, and I still got to spend so much time trying to dig her out of the ground. Okay, imagine my relationship. Okay, it sucks, right? It sucks. Okay, now, but when I look at my life, is this really true? Again, theory versus practical. Okay, is this really true? Okay, is it true that I always face competition? The reality is no. So what is this rock wealth competition that the chart is trying to tell me? Guys, remember this, right? 100% rock wealth. Okay, 100% raw wealth is talking about negative behavior. Correct? Can you see one-sided deal making? Can you see my way or the highway? Now, for the longest time in my life, okay, I was very quick to cut off relationships. Okay, whenever my girlfriend sort of behaved in a way that I go, huh, that's not the way you're supposed to behave as a girlfriend, for example. All right. That means as long as it was going a bit way off my expectations, I I gravitate towards the conclusion that this person, I don't think this person is the right one for me. This was my tendency for at least 20 years of dating. All right, at least 20 years of dating. All right. And I thought, but to me, honestly, it wasn't about ego. It was really about me thinking that it's the right behavior. All right. It wasn't like ego. I tell you to sit, you stand, you stand. No, no. It's about you're supposed to, by right, logically, you're supposed to think in a certain way, you're supposed to behave in a certain way that is proper of a wife. Okay. If you do something a bit out of my expectations or out of my realm of acceptance, all right. And this is not cheating, right? This is like just behaving that is behavior that is a bit off. All right. I'm very quick to jump to the conclusions that this person is not the right one for me. Okay. So I realized that this competition that my chart was trying to tell me, okay, that was trying to tell me is that this competition was created by myself because I am pushing my potential partners away. Okay. And the reason why I married late is because I needed a very long time to learn this lesson. Okay, guys, to learn this lesson. Again, okay, again, this is trying to understand the internal. That means trying to understand my natal chart, trying to understand my default setting. Okay, what do I have to change in my default setting first? Okay, so this is called awareness. You know, Dato Joey has talked about awareness for such a long time. This is called true awareness. How many of you understand? How many of you have a different meaning of awareness now? Type in me. Okay, this is just looking at your own chart, how you're born. All right. Plus, okay, don't forget, I'm also born with a hum between my year and the day. Okay, between the goat and the rat. Now, remember that the hum talks about negative emotions such as disappointments, frustrations, right? Negative emotions. Now, the year pillar normally talks about the general social circle, the open market, where we fish, where we try to catch our spouses. Okay. And the day pillar represents our spouse palace. Guys, can you see the misalignment here? My spouse palace and my open market forms a hum. Generally, what does that mean? It means I tend to fish from the wrong pond, meaning I fall in love or I go after the wrong type of girls. Okay, for the longest time. It took me more than 15 years to realize what this hum was all about. Okay, what this hum was all about. Okay, because I used to be in the oil and gas industry. So the oil and gas industry was full of vices, drinking, smoking, gambling, nightclubs, all that stuff. All right. So naturally, you will get attracted to your current social circle, which was the nightlife people. So I was dating nightlife people. I was dating nightlife girls and all that stuff. People who only appeared at night. Okay, because my social circle at that time had no normal people. All right, so my child was trying to tell me, hey, Kenneth, wake up. All right, you're fishing in the wrong pond. That's why all of your relationships failed. Okay, now Why am I saying this to you? Remember about the internal. This is for you to understand the internal. Once you understand the internal, only then you can look at the external. All right. There's no point shopping for the best treadmill if you refuse to go on a diet. Correct? Right. So after understand what's your problem, then you look at the external. Why? Okay, because the external also has two parts. The two parts of the external environment is called opportunities and traps. What are the traps? I fish in the wrong pond. Basically, what the chart is telling me is move away from nightlife and try to socialize in a different group setting. Okay? And then you can spot opportunities when the time comes. Does this make sense, guys? Type a yes if it makes sense to you. Yes, right? Okay, good. So let me show you. Okay, so what's the trap? Stop fishing in the nightlife pond. Okay, and look for opportunities to find a potential partner from another environment. All right. Yeah, my wife was from the sea. Yeah, I moved from the pond to the sea. Okay, so guys, you know, in 2021, we had a very tough time with COVID. All right. So we had the lockdowns, we had the heightened restriction, MCO, and all that stuff. So basically, all the nightlife socializing places were closed. Okay. They were all closed. Okay. So I was at home, I had nowhere to go. All right. So I was lying in bed and I was just looking at my chart for fun. And then I realized, wait a minute, it was 2021 and it is the year of the ox. Now, okay, it's the year of the ox. Now, the ox clashes with the goat. Okay, the ox clashes with the goat. And guys, do you still remember where my wife is? It's in my goat, isn't it? It's buried underneath my goat in the ground. Okay, and one of the techniques we use, all right, to clash anything hidden underground, okay, is by clashes. So in 2021, the year of the goat, the year of the ox came to clash with my goat. So there is a chance that my wife was clashed out to the surface. It was only a chance. It was only a chance. Okay. So I looked at my chart and I go, wait a minute, there's a potential. Okay. But where am I going to find this potential? I'm stuck at home. Okay. I'm stuck at home. I can't leave my house. Okay. Everywhere is closed. Where am I going to find my wife? Right. Now, can you see this? Okay. Inside the goat, which is the sin metal or the yin metal, it clashes with the yin wood. Okay. That's technical. Okay. But basically, this is how my wife got clashed out. The rock wealth was going to clash my direct wealth. Okay. Without being too technical, basically, this is the reason why my wife was clashed out to the surface. Okay. Wife appeared into the open. So I was thinking, okay, if I can't go out, my wife must, in one way or the other, appear in my life somehow. Somehow. Okay. And true enough, back then, there was a person who appeared in my life. Brand new person. I never knew this person. Okay. In work. Work appeared. Okay. And this person, all right, and this person was, she was managing the consultants at JY. You guys would not know her. She was only there for a few months. All right. And a part of her job was to contact me and touch base with me and basically understand what kind of consultant I am and all that stuff. That was her job. Okay. Her job was to contact me. So in 2021, she was the only new person who appeared in my life. So I go, wait a minute. There's only one. Okay. But I'm not going to sound creepy and go after anybody that appears, right? So we just spoke professionally. Okay. And what I realized is she also started to show signs of interest. Okay, she also started to show signs of interest. So one thing led to another. Okay, and in 2021 December, Singapore and Malaysia started to open up the borders. Okay, so she flew over to meet me. I'm in Singapore, she's in Malaysia, right? So instead of me flying, she decided that she wanted to come and see Singapore because she has never visited Singapore. So she wanted to come and see Singapore at the same time see me. So that was how my love story started. So you find your wife in JY. Yeah, there's this running joke between us. She went to JY not for a job. She went to JY to find a husband. Okay, so this is basically, so it's not about where to find, but it's the timing, guys. Remember, I told you it's the timing of the events. So when I knew that I had a potential wife opportunity, all you had to do is open your eyes because now you have awareness. Open your eyes and see who has entered your life. Okay, that's all. I found a wife by lying on my bed. Okay, and I found a wife from another country. Okay, now that's why this is the part that caught my entire extended family by surprise. That how did you get a girlfriend when it's during the lockdown, during COVID? How is that even possible? Okay, so that was how I found my wife. It's we sometimes we just joke about it. It's like a match made in heaven, but it's basically the timeliness of it. Okay, but this is the funny part because I've had so many multiple failed relationships before we agreed to start dating. Okay, that means be boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, straight away I told her I have a Rockwell problem. She understands Rockwell because she was from JY, right? So I told her, I'm sorry, I have a Rockwell problem, but this is what I intend. So what did I do? Before we started dating, right? I struck a win-win situation with her. Meaning, this is how I expect. What are your expectations? So we started to talk this way. We started to talk this way, and she says, well, I'm in line with what you're saying, and you're in line with what I'm saying. Everything else, we can try to work things out. We actually formed a win-win situation before we said yes to dating each other. This is also to rebalance the rock wealth, okay, to make sure that the rock wealth doesn't come between us again. Okay, once we did that, right, both our expectations were aligned, okay? And we stopped looking at each other and we started looking in the same direction together as a couple. So everything happened very smoothly, okay? And after about 2.5 years, okay, we tied the knot last year in November and we have been happily married for about 7, 8 months now. Okay? And I did marry late. Okay, I married at the age of 44. Okay, this year I'm 45. Okay, but I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay, my wife is much younger than me, but this is how you use the clashes, guys. Imagine finding a wife. My whole life, while I had the freedom of socializing, meeting anybody I wanted, all my relationships went to shit. Okay, it just went to hell. Okay, it had to take a COVID to close down the pool of wrong options, and I started looking out to the ocean, and I found my mermaid. In fact, she came out. Okay, I had to hose her down because she was covered in mud, but then we cleaned her up a bit, and then we got married. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So now, so when she appeared in my life, I said, well, is this potential? So when did we get together? Okay. In the month of October, okay, it was month of October is the month of the dog. Inside the dog is what we call the yang earth. Now, in my day, I have the red, which is the yin water. The yang earth and yin water forms a hidden combination. Okay, so in the month of October, after striking the win-win situation, after striking the rock wealth deal, we started a relationship in times of lockdown. We were dating secretly. That even our family were not too sure what we were doing because we were not even in the same country, but we were in a hidden relationship. Can you see how the hidden combination happens? Guys, So sometimes relationships are not that complicated. Okay. Okay. I know the way I found my wife is a bit complicated, but okay, sometimes all you have to do is you have a clearer understanding of your default setting. That means your internal energy influences. Then you find the right opportunities externally. Okay, I'm living proof of that. Okay, normally I don't talk about relationships, but this is my love story. Okay, and we are still very happily married, and we are still constantly striking rock wealth deals. Right? So to the point where, my entire family, when I announced that I was getting married, my family did not congratulate me. All my entire family, immediate and extended, just said one word to me: finally. Finally, you're getting married. Okay. All right. Okay. How many of you enjoyed that story? All right. So guys, okay, you guys enjoyed, right? So much, right? Yes, yes. Okay, guys. Now one thing, okay, ask yourself this. You have always heard about combinations, you have always heard about clashes, harms. This is what you hear every single year, right? Now, whatever I'm sharing with you guys, whatever techniques that I'm sharing with you guys, right? Is it anything very high level? Or is it still using the same concepts of clashes, combinations, harms, destructions? Is it still the same? Type a yes if you still think that it's the same. Same information, right? Yes, right? But why are my results so profound? Okay, because it's a different level of understanding, but yet the concepts are the same. You realize this? You realize this, right? Yeah. It's not about the earth and water combined. It's the yang earth and yin water is a heavenly combination. Okay. Yeah. You see, right? So different insights. So you see, don't underestimate the basic concept of clashes, harms, destructions, combinations. All right. The only reason why you think it's basic, because your understanding of it is basic. That's why your results are basic. But if you apply it creatively without being too complicated about it, your results can 10x. Okay. And your outcomes can be very profound like mine. Got it, guys? Okay, so this is all about understanding the energy relationship. The deeper your understanding, the higher level of application you're able to execute. All right, guys. Okay, can you tell us more about graveyard animal signs? Well, graveyard animal signs are basically the last month of every season. Okay, of every season. Okay. There's of course, you see, so basically every last animal sign of every, there are only 4 seasons. Okay, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So the last animal sign is always an earth animal sign. Okay. These animal signs basically are called storages, or they're called graveyards, basically. Basically, whatever talents or potential opportunities are hidden, and you need clashes to clash out those opportunities. Okay, this you might learn it in 10x, Sparta 10x, okay, in the more technical class. All right. Okay, yeah. Can you look at the questions in the chat? Can you see all these questions are because of the lack of understanding? Okay, but these questions are very valid though, very valid. Okay. Yes. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. Now, who's ready for a bit more complicated? Just one level, a bit more complicated. So far, I have been exposing you guys to a single layer of energy, interactions. For example, it's always the year or the month in, it basically is the same plane. Okay. How many of you know that energies happen in different layers? For example, in my chart, I have a destruction and a harm, right? That is the energy in my natal chart, what I'm born with by default. So that is one layer. When we go through certain 10-year luck cycles, we also experience different animal signs, correct? Every 10 years. Some animal signs will also interact with our natal chart to form additional relationships like combinations, pleasures, and harms, correct? Then you have the annual animal signs that increases another relationship. Then you have the month animal signs. How many of you agree that there are different layers of relationships happening at the same time? Type A1. Okay, this is when we get a bit slightly more complicated. Okay, this is where we start to when we start to read energies across different dimensions of time. Okay, and we see the introduction of one energy, what kind of potential energy disruptions it can make for us. Okay, now when I was approaching my marriage, as I said, my wife is much, much younger than me. Okay, she is about 15 years younger than me. Okay, so the first thing she said, you are 15 years older than me and you are triple my size. I'm a bit worried for your health. Okay, and at that time, I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, and I was smoking for the last 25 years. All right, going through the harms and the destructions in my natal chart. My life was full of disappointments and frustrations. I hated life basically. So I picked up smoking, and then I worked in the oil and gas industry. So everything was just amplified in terms of the vices, drinking, smoking, and all that stuff. All right. So even though I joined JY already, but my habits were still there. Okay. So my wife said, hey, I'm not asking too much from you and I'm not demanding you to quit. However, I only wish that you can spend an additional few more years with me. How lovely is my wife? Okay. But that threw my entire perspective out of whack. Like I was like, my God, I did not even think of that. Okay. So what did I do? So the first thing was I said, okay, how do I find different ways of trying to increase a couple of years to spend with my wife. Okay, so I looked at my chart. Now you're going to see this part, the 5 structures in the second page of your Bazi chart. Okay, and you only concentrate on the beige or the yellow diagram, because the beige and the yellow diagram is the default that you're born with. Okay, and I want you guys to pay attention, okay, to the elements that are quite low meaning below 40%. Okay, in my chart, can you see my lowest one is the wood? Okay, so my primary focus will be the wood. It's only at 10%. Okay, so for the longest time, since the age of 21 years old, I've been suffering from different forms of joint and leg problems. Gout, torn ligaments, slip disc, right? I've had it all. Okay, I've even had ankle reconstruction and stuff like that. Okay, and wood basically, when we focus on health, it also represents the general state of health. That means when I was born, okay, it's already clear that my general state of health is a bit shaky because it's only at 10%. Okay, now because most of us know that we are entering, or we have officially entered into period 9. Okay, so period 9 health issues would be the eyes, the heart, the blood vessels, blood pressure. The most common problems you would see would be bursting of blood vessels, stroke, heart attacks, accelerated cataracts, as well as mental health. Okay, and that is all represented by the fire element. Okay, now guys, look at my chart. My fire element at birth is only around 30%. It's only around 30%. What does this tell you? This tells me that in terms of period 9 for the next 20 years, from 2024 to 2043, am I a bit of a higher risk in terms of eyes, blood, and blood vessels and blood pressure problems. All right. Now, do you think that smoking will accelerate and amplify those problems? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Yes, right? But how many of you agree that as a 25, as a person smoking for 25 years, is actually very difficult? How many of you find that it's close to impossible to quit? Type a me if you find it like really, really tough, like close to impossible. Yeah, Rudy, right? Rudy? Okay. You guys are right. Okay. But it's not impossible. Okay. So let me show you this. Okay. So the first thing, guys, if I quit smoking, do you think that my health straight away, I have a higher chance of increasing a few more years to accompany my wife? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Yes or no? Yes, right? Yes, right? Okay. So my first enemy was to quit smoking. My first enemy was smoking, and my first objective was to quit it. Okay. Nicole, you're still trying to quit after 40 years, right? Okay. Just have an open mind when I'm explaining this to you. Now, guys, this is my chart again. Okay. And I have a very bad addiction, a very bad health habit called smoking, and I've been doing it for the last 25 years. Okay. For the last 25 years. When we have an addiction, it's also reflected in our chart. Do you know, guys? Do you guys know this? Remember, I told you your natal chart explains why you behave in certain ways. It explains your certain tendencies and your certain behaviors. Correct? So if I have been smoking for 25 years, my chart, some part of my chart has to show signs of it. Okay. Now, this is not definite, okay? But in my chart, I discovered that my destruction, according to Dato Joey, the destruction between the rat and the rooster, okay, talks about a certain level of addiction towards vices. That means smoking, drinking, gambling, that kind of stuff. Okay, so I have this rat and rooster in my chart. So we know, okay, that most likely this is the problem that is causing me to smoke. Okay, that's causing me to smoke. So what do you, basically logically, right, without being an expert at Bazi, do we have to break this relationship? Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? Yes, right? We have to try to break this relationship to give us a fighting chance. Right? Okay. Now, it was 2023 last year. Okay. It was the year of the rabbit. Okay. It was the year of the rabbit. The rabbit and the rooster forms a clash. At the same time, the rabbit and the rat forms the uncivilized punishment. Okay, now, so the year of the rabbit touches the rooster and he also touches the rat, correct? Now, if there is this chain, this relationship there, something external touches both sides. Do you think that there's a chance for energy to get disrupted? Yes or no? You're not sure, but there's a chance, right? Yes or no? Yes, right? Okay. I had no idea. No one has ever done this before. But I saw an opportunity and I went for it. Okay. This is called the understanding based on energy stacking. That means understanding what one introduction of another energy can disrupt the existing energy. This is called energy across different dimensions of time, or what we call energy stacking. That means reading two layers of energies and seeing how they interact with each other. Okay, so I know for a fact that this is a potential disturbance. Am I right or not? No idea. Guys, let me be very honest with you. I had no idea. But I know for a fact that the rabbit was coming to disturb the rooster and disturb the rat at the same time. Okay? So when was the best chance to try to quit? It was March. Why? Because March is also the month of the rabbit. And I picked the 6th of March, right? Because the 6th of March was also the rabbit day. So I was using the day energy with the month energy with the year energy to disrupt and break up the relationship between the rooster and the rat. What's the worst that can happen? I fail. That's the worst that can happen, right? But it was worth a shot. Okay. So I prepped myself for about 3 months. I did a lot of research. All right. What was the toughest period? Right. It was like the first week is the toughest. Then the first month. Then once you are smoke free for 3 months, everything will be much easier after that. Okay. We don't care about the 10-day officers. Okay. We just look at the animal signs. Okay, we just look at the animal signs, right? So on the 6th of March, that very morning, because my habit every day was the first thing I wake up, I will go for a smoke. Pretty standard. But on the 6th of March, that very morning, I woke up, I went to the balcony where my ashtray, my cigarettes, and my lighter were. I took all of it and I walked out of the house and I threw it in the bin and I came home. Okay, and I came home. I quit smoking in 24 hours. Okay? First week, no side effect. First month, no side effect. 3 months, no temptation. Guys, is this amazing? I've been smoking for 25 years and I quit in basically 24 hours with no side effects. Okay, some of my friends called this pure violence. They say that, my God, the way you quit smoking was pure violence. Okay, now, yes, Caroline said didn't gain weight. First 3 months, nothing happened. Okay, 6 months later, I started to bloat. That means when after my marriage, when I went into 2024, my health flipped based on my chart and my body started to change, right? And I started to bloat, all right? But small problem. That is just a side effect. But the main thing is I had no problems bloating, but if I had temptations, that would be a major problem. Correct, guys? Okay. So I started to bloat, and then when I looked at my chart, I went to TCM, Chinese traditional Chinese medicine. All right, they gave me some herbs, and I started to deflate. And I started to deflate. Some of you who know me for a while would know that I started to bloat and I started to deflate as well, and re-bloat and then deflate as well. Okay. Yes, some of you know that I'm a Keng Metal Day Master, so I am able to withstand that kind of violence in terms of disruption of the energies in my chart. Okay. But guys, can you see the power of energy stacking? That means the understanding of it. All right. When to break. Okay, when to break the addiction. Okay, that particular day, that particular month, that particular year, when the opportunity comes from the external, take it. All right, because the next time the rabbit year comes is 12 years later. Okay, so I'm not going to wait that long. Okay, there's a reason why my wife gave me that motivation the year before. It was setting my mindset up because my opportunity to break that 25 years bad habit was just around the corner. Okay, and that was the time that you make the correct choice for yourself. Okay. Crazy, right? Yeah, you quit 3 times, but once for 7 years, but always start again. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it's all about, it took me 3 months. All right. Because I did not just depend on metaphysics, right? I had to do some medical research as well. What's the side effect? What's the toughest period? What's going to happen? I might develop sore throats. I might not be able to do webinars for like 2 months, right? To recover. I might have excessive phlegm, right? I did all this research. So I was prepping myself. Okay, in Shima, we call this priming. We prime ourselves. Mentally, we are going through the process over and over again in terms of quitting. When that particular day comes, it felt as if you have done it a million times. Okay? Can predict when your wife pregnant, can predict, but out of respect, only when she wants it. Okay? Yeah. How many of you guys love this? All right. Now, based on my parts implementation understanding, right? Every year I seem to have a new goal, or I seem to achieve a new breakthrough. Okay. Now, last year when I taught this, I only taught basically the fundamental principles of it. Okay. During the first round, because we were trying out a brand new program called 八字 execution, real life 八字 execution. Okay, where I only showed the basic principles of combinations, clashes, and stuff like that. Okay, but I never introduced the concept. Really introduced the concept of energy stacking, or basically reading how to read the energies across different dimensions of time. Okay, now. Oops. Okay. Now, for you guys to understand, okay, now the 6th of March, the 6th of March was the pig day, okay, but March was the rabbit month, okay. Now, the pig, rabbit, and goat, okay, more specifically, the pig, rabbit, and goat forms the perfect 3 harmony combination. This is going deeper. You guys don't have to understand this, but I just want to give you for the completeness of this example. All right, when we go as low as specific as the day, all right, it was a pig day, rabbit month with my goat year pillar. Okay, it formed a perfect 3 harmony combination. Okay, now this produced, wait a minute. Okay, now my fiance requested that I try to reduce. That's all she said, reduce. Okay, she never demanded me to quit. Okay, but how many of you think that smoking is actually, or quitting smoking is actually a psychological thing? Type in me. All right. So psychological thing means it's in your mind, isn't it? It's in your mind, isn't it? So now in Bazi studies, the mind talks about the hour pillar. Okay. Now my hour has the animal sign of the snake. Inside the snake was 7 killings. Now 7 killings represents the talent of courage. Okay, the talent of courage and the acceptance of an abrupt change. Okay, and the acceptance of an abrupt change. Now, there was a secondary reason why I chose a pig day apart from the 3 harmony combination, because the pig day would have clashed with my snake. Guys, remember that it's a psychological thing. So when I go through a clash hitting my mindset, do you think this triggers a mindset change? It does, right? It triggers a mindset change, and it takes guts. You know, after smoking for 25 years, the first thing I thought about quitting smoking was actually fear. How was am I going to die? Right? Am I going to suffer? Am I going to like faint? Right? There was true fear. All right. So I needed courage. Okay. And I had to be receptive to abrupt change. So I picked that particular day to clash out, okay, excessive courage and the abrupt change, correct, to go into a potential cold turkey. That was what I did to myself. That's why my friend said that the way I did it was very violent, was very, very violent. All right. So this was all based on my understanding of the 12 animal signs and the clashes on and the combinations as well. Okay. Now, I'm also proud to announce, okay, that since we introduced this last year, we had an overwhelming response. Okay, even though this was only introduced to a small group of people last year. Okay, so this year, after all the feedback and after all the refinement, we are proud to announce only at Joyup Consulting Group Real Life 八字 Execution 2.0 version number 2. Okay, this is a complete course. Okay, this is basically a crash course on 八字 applications and implementation. I'm going to give you real life examples and shortcuts. That's why it's called a crash course, right? Because this is called shortcuts on combinations. What does it mean? You know, in theory, how does it look in real life? I'm going to just break out of all the secrecy and tell you exactly how it looks like. Okay, combination, 6 harmony, 3 harmony, hidden combination, destructions, harms, punishments, grand duke. How do you deal with it? Do you really have to be fearful? All right, the answer is no. In fact, after going through this course, you no longer become fearful, you get excited because now you know how to manipulate. Okay, then I'm going to give you the cheat sheet on the 10 gods, tendencies and talents. Okay, and definitely if you learn this, the reason why you're learning this is because I'm going to teach you how to activate the energy of your 八字 chart. Activating the energy of your 八字 chart means activating your 10 gods, the 10 talents. Okay, how to solve problems when things happen to you, and how to pursue opportunities when the time comes. All right, so you keep progressing, you keep on pursuing the upward elevation of your life. All right, now last year I taught this. Okay, last year I taught this, but based on the feedback of students, they say that Kenneth, we want more. Okay, we want more. Okay, now basically for the real life 八字 execution, this is your curriculum. Okay, this is a 3 days course. This is going to teach you the wheel of life. That means, first of all, understand how the universe works so that you understand how miracles happen. Okay, then you're going to understand all the combinations, clashes, right? Clashing in, clashing out, right? You're going to understand the destructions, harms, and punishments in real life. Okay, you're going to understand the 10 gods, talents, potential, right? Events. Okay, you are going to learn how to activate your 10 gods, including those 10 gods that you are missing. Okay, you heard me right. That means most of us are not born with all 10. We might be missing 2 to 3, as much as 6. Okay, how to activate all of them, including those that you are not born with. Okay, and those of you who do not really have a problem, but you do know that you have to intervene in the future, I'm going to teach you how to identify your ultimate skill set so that you get yourself prepared when the big event or the big problem comes in your life, like what happened to me, right? When my near bankruptcy crisis happened, I have already learned about my ultimate skill set, and that saved myself and my family out of bankruptcy. Okay, now for a 3 days intensive program, the management has set the price at USD 697. Okay, however, because this is the first time we are launching this program in completeness, okay, we are offering it at 497 US dollars. All right, now based on the feedback from the previous students, right? These are a few of them, right? Sub was saying that when he learned this, right, he's a Bazi student himself, okay, and ever since he was exposed to this crash course, or what we call shortcuts application, okay, without all the fluff and all the history, right? 3 days fully packed with information, techniques, and implementation strategies, right? Now he can apply the wheel. The wheel means the wheel of life. That means the way the energy flows so that he can create miracles to every single aspect of his life. Okay. Alice was saying, wow, now this concept can be used in the corporate world, and she can see how the problems in real life can be broken down and peeled off layer by layer. Okay, she also loved the explanation of clashes, punishments. It is not as complicated as what the theory says. Okay, and definitely she's now more than equipped enough to do her own reading. All right. Vimla, all right, she said that, oh my God, right, the wheel of life. Again, they keep mentioning the wheel of life because that is the framework that I've coined, okay, after I've understood how life works. All right, so now she's ready for 八字 and feng shui and period 9 journey. Okay. And of course, Buho is talking about best framework ever because it is a shortcut. That's why it has to be easily implemented, right? And then it takes away a lot of the guesswork. That is the main part. It takes a lot of the guesswork away. You know exactly what to do. Simplify, nothing is complicated, straight to the point, no fluff, execute, perform, and receive the rewards. Okay? Now, based on the feedback from the previous batch of students, they said that Kenneth, it'll be great, okay, that if we took the techniques and instead of just implementing and creating results for ourselves, we can also use these techniques for a higher level Bazi reading as compared to the usual annual consults. So this is the first time I'm offering this called the Pro Bazi reading, whereby this is Bazi analysis across different dimensions of time. How to understand what you're born with, when the 10-year luck cycle happens, what is the additional information, and then when the annual cycle, when the annual animal sign comes in, what's the additional information? How do you do the reading across multiple layers of different relationships? Then you see the entire picture of where your life is going. Okay, in this special one-day program, I'm also going to teach you guys the technique of forecasting when certain events might happen based on your auxiliary stars for the year. There are certain, every year, different animal signs have different good and bad, auspicious and inauspicious stars, correct? There are certain stars that will get triggered in certain months. I'm going to teach you exactly how to accurately forecast that so that you can identify potential traps. At the same time, you can also identify potential opportunities so that you can amplify all the results that you get for yourself. How many of you love this? Okay, how many of you love this? All right, what's the difference between 1.0 and 2.0? 1.0, I didn't talk about. I spoke about one layer, meaning all the clashes, punishments, combinations. I did not expose about how you read your energies across different layers, right? And I definitely did not talk about the auxiliary stars and how to forecast when the energy will come out and actualize in your life. Okay, how many of you have the rabbit in your chart? How many of you have the rabbit in your chart? How many of you actually fell sick in March or April? Okay, some of you maybe fell sick in June. All right, guys, look at the chat. Look at the chat. All right. Why am I able to tell this? Because this year in the rabbit, you have the sickness charm. In you have the sickness charm, but it doesn't mean you're going to be sick the whole year. But there are a few particular months whereby the sickness energy will be amplified. All right. And look at the chat. Okay, a lot of you guys have just validated that you guys got sick, right? Okay, so this is how you can forecast when the opportunities come, when the nobleman appears, when the traps will appear. All right. Yes, very bad cough, right? There you go. There you go. All right. Okay. All right. So this is called reading. This is called pro Bazi reading. Can you imagine you guys reading for people and saying that be careful of these few particular months, you might fall sick, and your client actually falls sick? Do you know what kind of credibility you get? You can't prevent it because it is the energy that visits you. Okay, so all you have to do is plan your activities accordingly to potential events. Guys, what kind do you guys love this kind of clarity, this kind of confidence that you have every single year? Okay, this is not just for this year. You learn this technique, you use it for the rest of your life. Okay. All right, you like it, right? So this is actually something that I created brand new, okay, that I think that a lot of people can benefit if they want to take parts of consulting to a different level. Okay. Okay, when will the rabbit be less sick this year? Basically, wait for 2025. Because the sickness start is with the rabbit. So the auxiliary stars will only change when the year changes. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. So those of you with the rabbit in your charts, please pay close attention. Okay. Then finally, once you go through the 3-day intensive, okay, fundamental, not basic, fundamental crash course, all right, on how to deal with all this energy changes, plus learning how to read the energies across different dimensions of time. This is the time when you get to design your own 八字 battle plan, whereby every single year you are able to plot out all your opportunities, what to look out for, potential traps, potential sickness, potential injuries, potential noblemen, potential wealth opportunities. You're going to be able to plot out every single month. So at the beginning of every year, you get to see from February to January. Okay, when are your months of opportunities? When are your months of traps? Where are your months of injuries, sickness, betrayals, and whatever that is available waiting for you for the year? How many of you love that foresight? Okay, so this is not just telling you, this is empowering you to create that plan every single year for yourself using the free information given to you by Dato Joey and the fellow consultants on the auxiliary stars, okay, based on your understanding of the 12 animal signs. That's it. Okay, we learn it once, use it forever. Okay, guys. So now the real life parts execution 2.0 is selling at USD 497. Pro parts reading and the parts battle plan is selling for USD 297 each. Basically, this is our first year launching this entire completeness of the program. Okay, pay for the main program and we give you everything else for free. So US 497, you get every single thing. Okay, those of you who are interested and you guys do not want to wait, all right, original price is over $1,000 US. You book it today or basically this year, okay, because let me tell you something, this program might not come back next year because the discussion in the management is having is that they might want to make this program or they might want to absorb this program into their main programming. Okay, so they might want to record this, not do it live anymore, and sell it for 1997. So, but because this year's discussion was a bit delayed, the schedule was a bit crazy. So I'm able to do this one more time to launch this entire complete program for US 497 because I have no guarantee that it's coming back at this price conducted live by me. This is the reality of it. Okay, this is the reality of it. So those of you who are interested, right, scan the QR code, all right, and register now. Those of you who are looking for certain installments, payments on certain credit cards, you guys can contact Coach Mark or Coach Carrie, okay, and then and see what kind of installments or what kind of credit cards or PayPal payment links you guys are able to get from them. All right. So yes, Carrie and Mark they have shared their contact details. All right. So those of you who are interested, whether it's Singapore dollars, Malaysian ringgit, or USD currency, credit card installments, please contact them and they will guide you, they will take care of you, right? Okay, guys. Nice, nice. Okay, this is not a lifetime uh, access, all right? A lifetime access programs are only available for Datuk Joey's programs. Consultant programs, we only have a limited time, but we are fighting for an extended replay timing, okay? Right. I will explain the Shensha for the year. I cannot explain every single Shensha possible because in reality, Shensha or what we call the auxiliary stars, the inauspicious and the auspicious auxiliary stars, there's over 1,000 of them. Some are very impactful, some are basically not effective at all. Okay, so the easiest way is for you guys to get the free information every single year before Chinese New Year when Dr. Joey comes up with his free videos and he talks about the auxiliary stars, or when the consultants do the free webinars and the free videos. Take down those auxiliary stars, understand the meaning, okay? Because knowing when the effect comes out is more important than knowing every single auxiliary star. Okay? Okay, so I'm teaching you guys to take free information and use it for the entire year. Okay, that is what you guys are learning. All right. All right. Nice, nice. Okay, if my natal chart has a clash, okay, causing a bad habit, can I use the 3 harmony or 6 harmony combination, okay, to break the habit? The answer is yes, but it's not so simple. It's not so simple. So you need to learn how to disrupt the energies first, and you need to know what kind of additional energies are being produced by the new 6 harmony and 3 harmony. Okay, so a deeper layer of understanding is needed. All right. Is there a book available in JY store for auxiliary stars? No, there isn't. Okay, because the actual book is free online. Okay, but you'll be very disappointed because the definition is very what we call is very one worded, right? For example, what is prosperity star? The explanation is prosperity. Right? What is nobleman? Helpful people. That's it. Okay, that's the explanation based on the traditional book. All right. When we explain it in our own way, it's through 3 decades of observation and experience. Okay, so our explanation is basically found in the Joyap Consulting Group. Okay. Hannah, will you teach us how to calculate the following year's auxiliary stars? No. No, because different auxiliary stars are calculated differently with different references. Some reference the day master, some reference the animal sign of the year, some reference the animal sign of the day. All right, so no. So the easier way is just trust the software. Trust the software, understand the stars, pay attention to what to look out for and when would they appear. That is why I'm teaching you guys this. Okay. Margie, my son chart year in Mao. Okay. You mentioned clash more irritating. You want to know how this year and how, yeah. Okay, clash is irritating because it's an uncomfortable change. That's just basically how it is. Okay, that's basically how it is. So, Margie, based on your long question, okay, this is not a hard sell, but basically it requires a higher level or a more in-depth understanding of real life uh, uh, actualization of the relationships. That means when the combinations happen, what can actually materialize in real life. Okay, what can actually actualize in real life? When the 3 harmony comes in, what are the scenarios? When the clash comes in, what are the scenarios? We have 6 clashes, all of them clash differently as well. Okay, and all of the clashes have different impacts as well. Okay, so in this course, you're going to learn about the differences. Clashes in general is just an uncomfortable change, but how impactful, what the type of clash, that's the difference. Okay. Is it possible for you to explain briefly how to analyze hidden relationship for female? SHR, what do you mean by hidden relationship? What do you mean by hidden relationship? Are you talking about hush dating partner like what I did? Or are you talking about potential third party cheating? What are you talking about? Right? So normally anything hidden is represented by hidden combinations. Okay? Yep. All right. Excellent. Okay, bonus 1 and 2 will happen because this is actually it took the management to approve this pretty last minute because the scheduling was so tight. Okay, so the bonus 1 and 2 will happen, within 1-2 weeks after the last day of the real life parts execution 2.0. That means it's going to happen within the next month, okay, within 2 weeks to a month, all right, around there. Okay, because because you need to take the information, the knowledge that you learned from the 3 days and apply it to bonus one first. Then the experience and the knowledge from the 3 days and bonus one, you take it and you create your whole bonus 12 months parts execution. That is the way we design the program. Okay, so it's not just a bonus given to you like a standalone. It's actually the next step to bring your learning all the way through to the professional level. There will be a recording available, right? Right now, it's 7 days replay, but we are trying to extend the replay timing. Okay, yeah. Okay. Or unable to find boyfriend, so you need to see where your boyfriend star is first. For those of you who are a bit more curious, for females, the boyfriend is represented by the 7 killings, and the husband is represented by the direct officer DO. All right. For guys, wife is direct wealth, girlfriend is indirect wealth. All right. Okay, graveyard animals for females, husbands. Okay, basically graveyard animal signs are the four earth animal signs: the dog, the ox, the goat, and the dragon. Okay, so if your boyfriend or your husband star is inside there, he's also buried underground. But that's only if you only have one. If you have another one somewhere else, then focus on the one that is easier to access. Okay, in my case, my only wife star is buried underground, my one and only one. All right, so I didn't really have a choice. Okay. All right, all right. What happens if direct wealth is under cardinal sign? It doesn't matter. It means you have access. The only you have the cardinal, right? And then you have the graveyard, right? Only the graveyard is buried. The other two, okay, basically you have direct access. So it's fine. Easy to discover. All right, easy to discover. Okay. All righty. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. How many of you guys enjoyed my sharing tonight? How many of you guys didn't realize that 八字 could be applied this way? Type in me. How many of you had aha moments and suddenly you just go, oh my God, I didn't know that 八字 could be applied this way. I've always thought that 八字 was a very passive kind of information. Or, what are the animal signs? Is it good and bad? The clash means bad. Combination means good. This year, the rabbit is sickly. The horse is shitty. The piggy is happy, right? Stuff like that. A lot of people just look at 八字 as very passive information for the year, but they have no idea that is actually your blueprint for your whole life on a 10-year basis, yearly basis, monthly basis, all the way to the day. Okay, once you're able to master or at least have more control and understanding over the 八字 chart, is very, very easy to stack. If you love the concept of energy stacking, then you will love the energy of stacking multiple facets of metaphysics. For example, you understand your 八字 chart. You know you have nobleman next month. If you understand feng shui, you can accelerate the nobleman energy by activating nobleman feng shui, because it's in alignment with your chart. That is when you can amplify the results 10 times, 100 times. Okay, those of you who are Chiman lovers, all right, when you look at your 八字 chart, that gives you your general strategy and direction. Then you can do your manifestation, you can do your strategic execution, and you maybe even ask the right questions in terms of forecasting. Okay, so that's why this 八字 execution is not just 八字 itself, but it lays the foundation for all your future metaphysics, stacking, okay, of different techniques and different schools of knowledge. All right. Wow, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, nice, nice. Okay, that's why at the beginning of the webinar, I did mention that it was a very personal sharing of mine, because it went from whatever I've just shared with you is my journey is my awakening process. It was my journey of waking up. Okay, it was reshaping my life, gaining new insights and wisdom into the proper direction, finding the right partner. Even though I waited for 40 plus years, thank goodness I found her. I dug her out of the ground, washed the mud off her, and we got married. Okay, and then I restarted my career with JY, and I'm even though I'm bloating right now, it's the least of my problems because I got rid of the biggest monster, which was smoking after 25 years. So I'm actually very, very happy. I'm actually happy being bloated. Okay, even though I have to, get my clothes tailored again. But small issue. All right, the main big devil is out, is gone. Okay, so at the very least, I'm happy to tell my wife that at least I might have gained an additional 2 years with her. Okay, I think that means the world to not just to her but to me as well. Okay, yeah, nice, nice. Okay, okay. If no DW or IW in natal hidden stem and having annual structure 100% IRDR plus 98% seven kidneys, how can husband do what can a husband do to avoid making bad relationship with wife, being less paranoid, less impulsive? Any suggestions to mitigate? Okay, this one is a bigger default problem. Okay, so it's not just a one answer solution. Okay, it's multiple facets. Okay, number one is there has to be education, open communication, and there has to be certain changes to not your husband, to your approach to your husband. Okay, because the way you change, the way you approach your husband is to handle all the unhealthy, excessive energy. Okay, and you also have to remanage your expectations, because if your husband has no DW or IW, he has no concept of marriage, meaning he married because it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't really understand what he has to do as a husband. That's the reality of it. Okay, so there's a lot of communication, and there's a lot more patience. All right, because he's oblivious. Okay, to you it might be normal. All right, but to him, he really doesn't know. He genuinely doesn't know because he's born like that. Okay. Okay. All right. Do the relationship starts in the luck pillar count also? Okay, so in my course I'll teach you how the energy goes, right? It goes from small to big, meaning small energy, the 2 hour energy, to the day energy, to the month energy, to the year energy, to the 10-year luck cycle, then to the natal. That is how it goes. So in the course I'll teach you how it goes and the impact of how it goes as well. All right. Okay. I'm a Yangwood Tiger Day, Goat Hour, Dog Man. Do I suffer bullying punishment if ox year comes? Okay. When you have a tiger, okay, you have a goat and you have a dog. Okay. When you have a goat and a dog, you are already going through a destruction in your chart. You already have a destruction in your chart. Okay. When the ox comes, the bullying punishment forms. So yes, it doesn't matter if your ox has DE, it will still come. Remember, good or bad, these are just necessary lessons you have to learn to become a better person, to achieve a better life. So welcome it. All right. You have a rooster in your career. What's the best month to apply for a job? As I had not get job for last month after 2 different interviews. Rooster. What if you have Lala, if you have a rooster in your month this year, all right, you will get a job. Okay, you will get a job. Okay, you just have to wait till September. Okay, so from now to September, keep on applying. Okay, keep on applying, and most likely you're going to get a job in September. Okay, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter, but at least get the job first. All right. Okay, Sheila, someone please repeat. Husband, boyfriend. Boyfriend is 7 killings, husband is direct officer. Okay. Yeah. Right. 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 Okay. Okay. Alexander, how do you read puzzle with all four cardinals? How do I read with all four cardinals? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay. What do you mean? Okay. Basically, it's just basically you are, matured thinking. You approach life in a more mature, not old way, matured way. That means in a very balanced way. Okay. This year you have gone into a new luck pillar. Okay, think fire. Current month sin metal. This means the heaven counter. Does it have any impact? No. It might just mean that in this 10 years, okay, your 10-year luck cycle will bring about changes in your career. It might not be changing job, it might be, experiencing different challenges, or it might be accepting different just say changes in job scope, for example. All right. Okay. Last couple of questions. Okay. Let's see. My career palace is dog. But I have DE. Can I change job? The year is red. If you have a dog in your month, that means your career palace, the dog clashes with the dragon this year. Of course, you can change. And this change is triggered by you. Understand? If you have dog in your month, this year your job change is triggered by you. That means you made the decision to change the job. You made the decision to pursue a new job, a new position, a new opportunity. This is called clashing out, which is what I'll be teaching in the course as well. Okay. What if you have the Charles? What if you have the red in the year pillar, then you have the horse on your month and a goat in your day? What does that mean? So basically, the year is your open market. Okay, the horse represents your career. So the open market clashes with your horse, which means that in your career you have a tendency to do things that the market doesn't like. That means there's a misalignment. That means you're not too sure on what to offer to the market, and the market keeps rejecting what you are doing. Okay, the year can represent your upper management as well. So you might be doing certain things that is not in line with what the upper management wants. That's called a clash. Then you have the goat in the day. The goat and the horse forms a combination between the day and the month, right? Which means in your work environment, people are willing to work with you. Okay. However, whatever you produce might not be acceptable to the open market or your upper management. You got to read it separately, two different pillars at a time. Okay. All right. All right. Last question. Let me pick a good one. Huh? What's this? My current luck pillar is pig, and the day pillar is dog. All right. What does it mean in terms of my relationship to my spouse? Nothing. Nothing. Because the pig and the dog doesn't form any relationship. So same old, same old. All right. So if you want to change wife, wait for a while. Okay. Yeah. All right. It doesn't mean anything because there's no relationship. All right. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be always there doesn't always have to have a relationship. If there's no relationship, means generally not much changes. Not much big changes, basically. Okay. What about the monkey in the month pillar? My husband just got laid off last week. Just got laid off last week. Last week is June. All right, June. June is horse. Horse and monkey. Any relationship? Okay, any relationship? Not really. Not really. Okay, most likely. Okay, most likely it happened in May. May is the snake month, okay, that combined with the monkey. So the decision of sacking your husband was made in May, and your husband officially finished his last day in June. Was that what happened? Was that what happened? Rule, is it? Yeah. Okay. He just got news last week, but most likely it was decided by the upper management that he was going to be laid off in May. Okay. So it was, if I'm not wrong, the fact that he got this news so last minute, it was not just him, it was a bit of a mass retrenchment, was it? Okay, because this is really happening. 40%, right? There you go. All right. Because if it's a mass retrenchment, they cannot tell you way ahead of time. The fact that he got news last week, it was already pretty humane. Okay, there you go. Okay. Goat in the hour, ox in the month with goat in the luck pillar. What will punishment energy be stronger and still maintain at 50? Okay, goat and ox is not the punishment. Goat and ox is the clash. Okay, so I understand there's a bit of a confusion. Sometimes there's a clash. At the same time, there's also a destruction. At the same time, there's also a punishment. So what to read first? Okay, in the course, I will teach you. Okay, but when you see the goat and the ox, always read it as a clash first. Okay, that means the month is your career, the hour would be your ideas and how you think. All right, your strategies and whatever you come up with. The ox will clash with the goat. That means whatever that you have to do in your career will always go against what you like. Okay, will always go against what you like because there's this misalignment, okay, of what you like versus what you have to do at your work. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Yes, I will also teach how you activate your celestial nobleman. This one most likely is in the pro Bazi reading bonus. Okay, I'll teach you guys how to activate your charts in the 3 days, but in the bonus one, which is the pro Bazi reading, I will teach you guys further on how to activate your celestial nobleman and your Tai Chi nobleman. What's the difference? Okay, those of you who didn't watch my video, Tai Chi nobleman is the ability to pick up metaphysics knowledge. That means the ability to learn metaphysics. Okay, if I'm not wrong, Dato Joey has 3. Okay, but celestial nobleman is this. Celestial nobleman means regardless of your religion and regardless whether you believe in reincarnation. All right, celestial nobleman means in your past lives you have accumulated some knowledge on metaphysics or the unconventional wisdom industry, energy healing, tarot card reading, Reiki, meditation, all that stuff, right? For example, you have accumulated in your past lifetimes. And if you have the celestial nobleman, it means you are able to access those past knowledge and take it back and realize it in this lifetime. Okay, a lot of things that I'm teaching you, the wheel of life, my understanding of the clashes, combinations, harms, destructions, how I got out of bankruptcy. Oh yes, the 3 days, real life Bazi execution 2.0. I'm going to show you how I went through multiple layers of execution to get myself out of bankruptcy. Okay, you guys should really pay attention to that. Okay, and the reason why I can teach you how to activate your charts and activate the celestial nobleman as well as the Tai Chi nobleman is because when I got myself out of bankruptcy, I accidentally activated my celestial nobleman without knowing. And because I activated without knowing, I was able to see whatever I'm going to teach you guys called the wheel of life, understanding the clashes, understanding the tendencies and talents. And that was how I got myself out of bankruptcy. But it took me 5 years to understand what happened to me. Okay. And this year, I activated my celestial nobleman again, and I saw additional things on how to activate. That's why this year I'm teaching you guys this. Okay, because whatever I'm teaching you guys was whatever knowledge that I managed to dig out from the storeroom accumulated from my previous lifetimes. Okay, this is not taught, okay, in the mainstream anywhere from any master. Trust me, I've searched for over 6 years. No one teaches this but me in Joey Yap Consulting Group. So if you guys are really interested, I would strongly suggest that you don't miss this opportunity. Okay, guys? Wow, nice, 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 nice. Okay, Signal Star could also include mental health as well. Yes, as well. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. Wow. Thank you so much for attending my webinar tonight. I really, really appreciate it. All right. So those of you who are joining us in this class, I'll see you in class. And it's going to be such a fun time because this is the first time I'm offering the completeness of what I have realized through activation of my celestial nobleman and activating of my own personal charts. Okay, guys, on that note, my name is Kenneth Wong. Thank you so much for attending this class, and I will see you. And I will see you in the exciting 3 days additional information added version of real life parcel execution 2.0. All right, guys, thank you so much. Take care.